I remember I got into a conversation with my boss in the office about it, and she was trying to find any reason under the sun to look for an excuse as to why, oh, maybe you're asymptomatic, or your white blood cell count is high, or blah blah. She's looking for anything to try to justify why I didn't have it, just because she wanted me to be like everybody else, which they know. You can just tell in the spirit in which I move around the people out here. I'm not like anybody else that they know. And I kept telling them, no, I don't have it. I got tested. I went to the hospital just like everybody else. You guys know how it works, right? I just don't have it. And he said, oh, well, you need to da-da-da. I said, well, yeah, you can believe what you want to believe in. And I told them, I said, hey, I believe in the Most High. I believe in my God. And I looked up. And then when I looked back down, she was looking at the other coworker like, because they don't have a sense of spirituality. They don't have a sense of a God to run to, or that they can confide in, or that they can seek shelter from to save them in the time of their adversity. And it's beyond their belief that something that they can't feel, touch, or see would have power to protect you from something that is, became a global pandemic, or anything in life, for that matter, that you need protection from. It's just beyond them as a people to believe in anything outside of their own self-reliance, so to speak. And which is, as we know, brothers who are in the faith, we know this is false. But getting back into the scriptures, reading on from 26, Moab also shall wallow in his vomit, and he also shall be in derision. Yes, so part of that vomit is their lies, right? They're also going to wallow, all the lies that they tell. That's one thing about Moab too. If you've ever lived amongst these people lie like there's no tomorrow, and because they have no connection to a spiritual being or something greater than themselves, they don't look at lying the same way we do. They look at lying as a means to an end. If the lie can benefit them or be advantageous to them in some way, then they'll do it. They don't see it as morally wrong, or they don't feel guilty about it. And so in that time, they're going to wallow in their vomit. That vomit is their lies, right? So whatever lies they tell to get ahead during this time of adversity that the Most High is going to pour out on this kingdom, whatever lies they tell is going to end up biting them in the ass in the end, and as to their destruction. And so be it. Good. Reading on. For was not Israel a derision unto thee? Right. So we were at one point we were a thorn to Moab. Right. We caused them a lot of conflict. We caused them a lot of consternation, so to speak. Right. We caused them a lot of anxiety, if you will. Good. Let's see. Good. Jumping down to verse 29. Again, we're still in Jeremiah 48, verse 29. We have heard the pride of Moab. He is exceeding proud. Yeah, the Moabites, when you come to this country, one of the first things that you'll kind of see on the surface is the people. They seem very humble. They have a high sense of humility, or so it would seem on the surface. But for those of us in the truth, if the Most High has granted you the power to be able to, or the gift of reading spirits, you can see beneath the surface, so to speak. And one of the things that you'll find when you look into the eyes of many Moabites, they are an extremely proud people. You'll know that by how they interact with other cultures outside of China when they fly into other countries, right? You'll see videos of it on YouTube. On my page, in the description, I'll leave a link to some of the videos where you can find videos about how Moab acts when they leave their country. But they're very prideful people. Whether they travel to Korea or Japan or Thailand, everybody complains about them. the two most complained about Asian cultures are the Chinese and Indians, right? People just can't stand when they come to their country. One thing you'll learn about Moab is a very dirty people, very, very dirty. They don't pick up after themselves. They spit everywhere. What else? Like you'll walk into a restaurant. The restaurant will be clean is because they have people to clean it. But the people themselves, while they're sitting there eating, they just leave trash and garbage and just refuse everywhere. You'll see it. Like I said, while you're in the city, you'll see that things are clean or whatever. It's because they have people to clean. But because they have people to clean, the people who use the services of whatever company, they just feel that they don't have to clean themselves or they don't have to pick up after themselves, right? They just very, very disrespectful, and they bring that same mentality to other countries and other cultures, right? You'll see little kids just peeing out in public, right? Anywhere they want. Even the elders, right? For as many of us growing up, we learned how the Moabites, they always shown great respect to their elders, right? They had great respect for their elder population, which is not true. And the elder population doesn't have respect for the younger generation either. Like just now, as we're speaking, I'm looking at this older gentleman sitting down on a ledge over here, or I think it's an older woman actually, which makes it even more shameful. And she just threw her trash in the bushes, right? As she's sitting down on this ledge, I guess resting or whatever like that. And you'll see a lot of that around here. You'll see old men walking behind you. Now everybody spits, but all that gagging and goggling and to get the phlegm up out of your throat, that's not necessary. Or if it is, go somewhere where you can do it in peace and private. But they're just a very nasty, a very dirty people. Moving on. His loftiness and his arrogancy and his pride and the haughtiness of his heart, right? Yeah, so they're very prideful people. So in some of these videos that you'll see on YouTube, you'll notice that when Chinese people are talking, they oh, I'm from China, you need to respect me. They say it like as if that makes them better than other people, as if being a Moabite is such a great thing or whatever like that. And they use that as their badge or as their shield of protection. That I'm Chinese, and well, they're very proud and arrogant. In many ways, the same way Americans are, right? With that pride of their lineage, so to speak, right? You'll see that in many of the videos on YouTube, how they act when they travel to other countries. Now, it's very interesting. You'll see them act like that amongst other Asian nations because they're seen as the top Asian nation. But when they travel to Europe amongst white people, or amongst Edomites, they know exactly how to act. And it's very funny. So it's not like they're unaware or they're ignorant of their actions. It's just they pick and choose. Excuse me, Salakia. It's just that they pick and choose when they feel like acting with some type of decency and decorum. And amongst themselves and amongst other Asian cultures, they do not act that way. They're very, very proud, very arrogant, and very, very dirty, very nasty because of their arrogancy and because of their pride. Very dirty people. Good, let's see. It was Jeremiah 26 down, about 29, I believe it was. Let's see what else we have here. Good, so let's jump down to 33, verse 33 of Jeremiah 48. And joy and gladness is taken from and the plentiful field and from the land of Moab, right? So in that day, these people, they're not going to be a very happy, a very glad people, as most people from around the world will not be, right? There's going to be a time of great destruction, a time of great pain. What you'll know about the Chinese people is they are a very even-tempered people. How can I say? They are very passive people, right? So what we might count as disrespect in America, they don't see it the same way here. They just let things go on and be as it will and keep moving forward, which to their credit is not a bad attitude to have. But in the time of derision, that sense of ease is going to cease, as we read in the preceding verses of this chapter. Let's see here, what else do we have? Good. And I have caused wine to fail from the wine presses. Good. And what is that wine that is talking about? That wine is talking about their philosophies, right? Taoism, Buddhism. We have Taoism, Buddhism, Confucianism, right? All the philosophies that they believe in. That wine is going to cease to be able to produce anything of benefit for them as a people, right? As a nation, because they're going to see that at that time, like I said before, when they turn to their gods, they're going to notice that there's a major difference between the gods that they believe in and their philosophy, and the God of the true and living God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. None shall tread with shouting. Their shouting shall be no shouting, right? So they're not going to be happy. They're not going to be boasting about how much money they've made, even though they kind of like Moab is very clever in the way that they express to you that they are a rich people. So they're very quiet. They don't really talk about money that they make, or they don't talk about themselves in terms of being rich or anything like that. But they let you see their richness, or they'll talk about it in a very indirect way. Like, yeah, you know, me and my wife just got back from blah blah blah, and they'll mention the name of the hotel that they stayed in or whatever. And then, you know, it's your job to go check, and then when you see the hotel that they stayed in, then you know that they spent a little bit of money on it. So they're boastful in a very indirect way. But as it said, none shall tread with shouting, right? So they're not going to be working with a boastful spirit, thinking that they're going to be making a lot of money during that day, because it's just not going to happen as the world